Well, hello everybody, this is Strugman and welcome back to Manufactio Nuclear Edition. Today we're going to do a little bit of chemical work, we're going to make some plastic, and we're going to do a few things, but I figured I'd at least show you what we did with the leftover parts of our mining facility. So once I removed the miners from the actual area that we had set up, since you can't capsule them with the capsule that we currently have, you can't capsule them, so you have to take them out of the little equation, but everything else is available here. So the water, the chests, the mining duct or the energy ducts, and the solar panels, those are all capsulable, whatever you want to call it. So all I do is I bring it back over here, I drop it down into a little area kind of right here, and hook up a couple of pipes to it so that it does the work and takes care of the problem. It'll even capsule up all of this is a kind of a thing you got to kind of worry about too, which I found out the other day when I put these things down the first time, is it will capsule the mine carts and the minecart rails, and it will kind of capsule the chunk loader upgrades. It will capsule them and spit out an extra one. So I think we still have a single on us. I mean, if I had I'll show that eventually, but you got to be careful because like it'll pick that torch up the next time we try to do a few things. So you got to kind of, I don't know why I have torches out here. I was over here busy being silly, but you have to be careful because certain things it will you can duplicate with capsules or duplicate with various things. And apparently the thing you can duplicate is these chunk loader upgrades. They are not expensive. I have an ungodly amount of everything that it takes to get it. It just means that you have to get to that point in the pack before you can make them. So it's not a big deal, and I probably won't ever really need more than however many we have set for each one of our things. So I have been down here doing a little bit of work, and then I kind of realized that we were, well, just a little bit of work. We're just getting things up and sorted, and I realized that we were, kind of low on some iron ore. So I went and grabbed one of the miners over here that was full of iron ore and full of coal, had a couple of other little things in it as well. I figured I'd just go get it since it was done, put it down, and let it slowly filter itself into the system so that things can get back to work. So I gotta do a little bit more rework down here on the end, and then we can start making plastic. So I figured I'd just show you guys that, and I will be back in a little bit. So we did a little bit of work right here on the end, and that was basically just to kind of make this row start to look like some of the other things. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to just hook it directly into the main system. So we do want to try to continue to keep a transport logistics system from one end of the base to the other, and then a side shot little, like one-off systems that are going to be controlled by themselves. So that way we can at least hope to maybe keep some of the clock cycles down a little bit. Like I said, the frames are starting to show a little bit now, at least while I'm playing. But well, I should say the TPS seems to be staying up fine, at least to this point. So let's take a look at the next section. The next section that we're going to need to do, at least for this circuit, is to produce transistors, and transistors are going to require silicon wafers and plastic sheets. Plastic sheets are going to be the next big deal. They're going to be a little bit more of a pain in the tail to do, although I did do a little bit of looking into this. Half the reason why I started digging underneath the base was so that we could use these. It's because we can get nether quartz from doing little things like grinding andesite, diorite, and granite. So I've had a little bit of time, and we have somewhere around 1,000 nether quartz at this point in time. So again, it's just one of those. This is one of those things where this is going to require some handwork for a little while until we can get to the point where we can actually get the logistics crafting table update thingies, which I think are probably blue science and something we're going to go probably aim for fairly quickly. But with the amount of stuff, I think we had like 7,000 or 8,000 of the little pieces of quartz. I was capable of at least making 1,000 regular old nether quartz, which is, even at the worst of times, 1,000 circuits that we can play with. So that's something to at least mess with for right now. 1,000 circuits. It's 1,000. Come on. Do your math. Get your stuff correct. It is 2,000 of those at the very worst. Actually, it's even more than that, isn't it? It's 4,000 of those at the very worst. So that's a decent amount of stuff for a little while. It's something that, like I said, I'll pay attention to it, and as we continue to dig things up, I just have to go down there, grab the bin. Actually, I need to do that. Grab the bin, handcraft everything until we can get some new stuff. I was going to say that maybe we need an assembling machine thingy for that kind of recipe for that, but actually, no, I don't want to. I'd rather just do it the way that we're going to be doing it, because again, that's a lot, and it took me like 2 minutes to craft everything. Once we get the logistics crafting tables I think it's where is it? Those things, that then we have all of the 9x9 crafting that we need. So I'm not really worried about it. And again, that's just kind of stuck behind some other logic. And I think actually looking at that, depending on whether it's just stuck behind that circuit or not, that means we might be able to just do it straight out. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to be making circuits. If we're lucky, we're going to get it done today. I've already got a couple of things set up to do it. But let's play with plastic. Plastic, at least at this point, is going to take us a little bit of time, and we're going to need plastic for a lot of other stuff. So the first thing we're going to have to look at is the first thing we're going to have to look at is how we're going to get plastic right now. We don't have access to this. My eventual idea is to use this recipe, which is why I built that thing. And once we get the once we get the building gadget, I can build that thing a heck of a lot faster than what I have to do right now. Meaning I can just copy one level, go up a couple of blocks, plop it back down to include the cactus, and just stack until I'm just sick of doing it. And then move sideways and stack until I'm sick of doing it. And then move sideways and stack until I'm sick of doing it. Just depends on how much of this stuff we think we need over time. We'll be able to make all of that without any energy, without any problems. It's just stuff, and the stuff we have available right here. So no big deal. It's one of those, I've been wanting to use a cactus farm for a little while in a modded playthrough, and we're going to use a reasonably decent sized cactus farm in a modded playthrough. So the next thing then on that is we have to look at the way we're supposed to make it originally or initially, which is going to be these two recipes. We already have processed coal sitting on the system down the line, so I've already brought some of that over here. So what is it going to ask for? Well, it's going to ask for gasoline. Gasoline is going to come from a distillation tower using heavy oil, or at least that's pretty much the only thing that I can see at this point, or light oil. So we should be able to do light oil, heavy oil, those kinds of things. Naphtha, gasoline, blah, 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 blah. Starting with the rest of this, let's just look at gasoline and the heavy oil. Heavy oil is from hot crude, and it gets a little bit of hydrogen used, which will then produce some of the other things that we're going to get at this point. Hot crude we get from a hydrocarbon separator that's taking crude oil and separating it into raw gas, hot crude, and sulfuric wastewater. Sulfuric wastewater, we already have a purification system for. We will just send that right down the line using the pipe that's up here. The hot crude is something that we're going to need to use. Again, that's going to be the thing we're going to put into a distillation tower with some hydrogen to make naphtha, light oil, heavy oil, and oil residuals. Some of this stuff we're just going to throw away right off the bat. Some of this we're just going to throw it away right off the bat until we can make it work. However, what we are going to do is we're going to store it in a few tanks for a little while until we can figure out what we're going to do with it. Raw gas we can use to make natural gas, which makes raw gas, gas concentrates, and things and stuff like that. Raw gas, again, can be used to make nitrogen, acid gas, acid, all these kinds of wonderful things. Acid gas, gas residuals, natural gas liquids, methane, ethane, butane, burnables, and stuff, which is some of the reason why we started looking at this. Why I grabbed that right off the bat was because we'll be able to take some of these fuels that we're going to get, some of these gases later on, and turn that into solid fuel, which we're going to want to burn in some of this stuff here eventually, or we're also going to use it for various things. Solid fuel is going to be part of the rocket process, if I remember correctly, so I want to start saving it now or using it now. So yeah, this is going to be part of the mining drone stuff. We're going to need those. Plus, it burns a lot of stuff in a blast furnace. It actually burns more. Let me see, 240 seconds versus coal coke. Coal coke in a blast furnace is more than double. So that's a good way of getting rid of it. I know it's one of those you can just get rid of it. We are going to try to make use of everything to be able to make some of the better fuels just because it's going to be there. And I'd rather be using coal at this point to make plastic than making coal coke with it. Even though we need the coal coke dust, I want it to go towards what we're doing right now, which is going to be either the alumina or where is it? The steel recipes or this recipe. We're going to need a lot of it for that, and I'd rather stop burning it now, kind of a things. Plus, later on, we're going to need to do this stuff. We're actually going to have to look at titanium very soon because it's starting to stack up, and I would rather have it in ingot form because I can block it. So let's look at getting this hooked up. I know it's a long discussion thing. The first thing we need to do is put down a hydrocarbon separator, which is this thing right here, which we should have Over here somewhere. I thought we made a few of them. So let's do this. I already busted a bunch of the distillation towers down because, you know, I thought I was going to put that down first, but my brain can't read. So read. Click and load. And where's the face of you going to be? Is that your face? Oh, that sucks. It's the wrong direction. Well, then I guess we can put it on this side. Let's try right there for right now. Did everything load correctly? Everything got well. Now, something that I did notice, and I was going to record this, and the reason why we didn't get the plastic the last time down was because of the fact that I was kind of fooling with this a little bit off camera, trying to figure out whether or not we were going to need to do a few things. Some of these systems, some of these machines, like this one that has the stuff on the side of it here, will not work without this. Unlike the hydro plant, you can take all of this stuff off the outside and it won't work, or work just fine. So I've been testing a few things now, and go do this. Do you still work? Okay, so that means I can get rid of this if I want to. But I think we're going to leave it alone this time for right now. So hot crude oil goes in back here. So do we have any pipes on us? No, let's go grab some pipes. I should have all of that stuff sitting right here, along with some power, fluid ducts. The reason why I'm interested in that is because I'd rather use the fluid routers on the machine that I'm putting this thing through. So like here, we can just do this, right? And do this. And I'm going to break it again just to make sure. Okay, so you don't care. Good deal. So that means we can do this to this and then hook it right straight into that pipe network and use it anywhere that pipe is available. So that is perfectly fine with me. Let's get a little bit of oil up. So oil's got to go like this. And we'll just keep it out of the way. Go. Nice and full. Power is... This is when I wish I had a building gadget. Which, that's going to be the first thing we build when we get some of this circuit stuff done. Alright, so there you go. Do you need a recipe? No, you don't. Amazing. Awesome. So, we're going to have sulfuric wastewater on the bottom, raw gas, and hot crude. Can I... Shoot, did I make a trash can? Well, here's what we'll do then. We're going to... I think this is just going to jump over. I know we're going to have a kind of a bunch of silliness. I do, like I said, kind of want to keep some of this stuff for the time being. So raw gas, before I get sidetracked, goes into a distillation tower to make nitrogen, acid gas, natural gas liquids, and gas residuals. What am I going to do with this? Interesting. Okay. Nitrogen we can use for crystal processing, silicon seeds. I think that's it, at least for right now. So the nitrogen likely will get trashed as well. And the natural gas liquids, that's going to be one I want to save because it's going to allow us to make all this stuff that we can play around with that later on. So let me see. You filled up. How much did we get? Wow, you're slow. Does that one have a secondary tier 2? Let's go grab a tier 2 upgrade and put that in there. Let's see, that should be that one. And bunk. Go. That's a little better. Okay, cool. So that's going to get us the hot crude. That's going to get us a couple of these other things. I need to go make a trash can real quick so that we can get rid of some of this, although I think we can immediately use some other things here. Let me get this. over here. And the sulfuric wastewater, we can immediately get rid of. That's fine. And we can do this, 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 this. Raw gas, where are those tanks that I have been playing with? I'm going to put that... I think we're going to store it over here for right now because I think we're going to have more chemical machines coming into here. Plus, if I have to do some other stuff, I have a feeling we're going to need a couple of these. I just have a feeling we're going to need a couple, and I kind of don't want to get myself blocked in just yet. Well, heck, let's do this real quick. Let's get this distillation towers down, and then we can figure out where we can put some of these fluid tanks. I don't think I need all these chemical plants that I currently have on me. So distillation tower should be the next step, yes. So, boop. And I think with the way this is going to work, I won't have to rotate it, maybe. Which way is this place? See, those are wrong. That means it needs to go the other way. Can I rotate you until you work? So you will go that direction, or... that direction. And that is a big dude. That's a big dude. All right, cool. So, hi, how are you? Must have had some good pants on, my friend. Okay, so those should function now. Everything is set that direction. And this is one of the ones where I found out that it would only work with this requires all of that piping, all of it. So we have to pay attention to that. Let's go ahead, I guess while we're here, and go ahead and upgrade that thing without even bother messing with it once. Where are we? We're going to have to look at making some more power here fairly soon. And I need to charge my magnet again. All right, just go straight to work. Yes, I like the green better than the red. Okay, so this is going to require power, which we're going to have to hook in right there. Yeah? Come, crawl up the scaffolding. You're fine. Come on down. Come on down here. There we go. And I think I need one of these, right? No, we don't. I already looked at the recipes. So into here, we're looking for this to this. So this is going to be a chemical plant tier 4, which or tier whatever, which we're going to need to put in some gasoline. So in order to get gasoline, we need to make heavy oil. Heavy oil we make with hot crude and hydrogen. Hot crude is going to come out of this thing. So where's the input? You bother me. Don't do that. You bother me too. Don't do that. I'll have to fix those. Okay, so we can put the hydrogen and the hot crude in back here. This is where I probably won't do all of this anyway, but I mean, it's going to be right to there. So let's get this all hooked up. I will get that sorted in a second, and I will be back with you kids once we get it done. Where's my fluid routers? I need to probably make some more of those. All right, so that should be that. All I got to do, we've got the filters set up in here, so hot crude that direction and hydrogen that direction. All I should have to do is well, I was going to make it run up through the structure. Let's see if the structure still functions. Up and there. Cool. That goes to there. That should put some stuff in here. Lovely. Are we making things? Yes, we are. Awesome. And that means those are going to be pushed out over here to some of this other very, very tall stuff. Again, I think all I'm going to do... I'm not even going to... I've played with this. If I take that off, it doesn't work. I think all we're going to do is this. And then I got to climb all the way up there and turn all of those on. Let me out. Okay, so everybody's on. All we need to do now is come back down here and look around. See, now, like I said, because of the way we're building this stuff, it shouldn't care. It should just leave it in the interface until it's time to pump it somewhere. So the next step with that is going to be, we have our, I should have just checked all this click all the way through, but whatever. We need to make gasoline, which means we're going to take the heavy oil that we're going to get from this process. So we're going to take hot crude, hydrogen. We're going to end up with light oil, heavy oil. We're going to actually take both of those two and do the exact same thing with it. Naphtha, we're going to start storing, because I should be able to start doing this with it now. So this is something we can definitely use to get rid of the trash right off the bat. However, I think there's a better use for it later on, which is going to be the liquid plastic that we're going to be able to use, and that's going to be a long time from now. So what we're going to do, I think we already have this recipe as it sits. We're going to be doing this just to get rid of it so we can burn it. And then we can mess with it as it goes. So the next step, again, is we're going to need 2 more of these. One to do heavy oil, one to do light oil, to burn them both into gasoline so we can make as much plastic as we can. So let's just do that all over again. What did I do with it? Distillation tower. And I'm going to have to, let's see, I think there's one. No, I know. You can't undeploy it. It's fine. Why am I short steel scaffolding slab? 1 steel scaffolding slab. Oh, right. Yeah, I built this and tore it all down and then had a problem. Can we have one of these over here? I think we have some spare stuff, right? It's something about hitting steel scaffolding slabs with the hammer that causes them to disappear. Is there any steel scaffolding in there at all? I don't think there should be, actually. I don't think we've destroyed one of those yet. Can I make one? Can I just cheat one in? Because the hammer, I gotta quit breaking stuff with that hammer. That one right there. Thank you. Go. Done. Okay, so we have another one ready to go. And I want to place it the exact same direction just because it'll look just fine that way. So 2 space between, I think I like. No. 2 space between. And then we have another one that we need to break down. So rotate you. Two space, go. It just barely fits. All right, I need a couple of these. Wow, yeah, you screwed that one up, didn't you? Alrighty, I think I can do that right there, and then since we're cheating, give that back because I had to cheat that back in to make that work. That's okay. And we're good. So, yeah, I thought that looked a little close. I think that's all we're going to need for the moment. And again, we'll be upgrading things in place as we go. So now we need to hook in a bunch of stuff between everybody. And this was all spare extra stuff that I had in my inventory. So let me see. I'm going to hook up all the piping and get it all sorted between all these guys so that by the time we get down to the end over here, we're going to need to go, well, we got this up. I guess let's get the, I was going to say, let's get the rest of this up. Where did I put them? The massive style of chemical plants that we need. We're going to need chemical plant for the end of it for plastic. So that's this thing right here. So we're going to need the process coal or process coal chunk with gasoline. So I just need one of these, looks like. I mean, I know I say just. just needs one of these. Let's put one right next to this one. And chemical plant. Boop. And we stuck that reasonably close to the edge. So 1, 2, 3, just move it over. Well, let's see. There's nothing that goes in on that side except for fluids. So we'll do, this is where I wish I had those guidelines from Satisfactory, because I could just hold control and I'd put it down. And of course that hooked up, so it's going to pick whatever the first thing it can pick up from, but that's fine. We'll deal with that as we go. All right, I know this row is going to be a little tight because of the size of these machines. All I wanted to do to try to get some of this plastic flowing so we can start to see how much more fun we're going to actually have to do. So that'll give me some room to put a couple of spare tanks in for some of the residual stuff, as well as a trash can. So we'll put in... I probably am going to need to make... How fast does this produce plastic? Oh. Oh. Hang on. Let's look at the right one. That's reasonable. I can deal with that. So I'll get everybody upgraded. We'll get a few things going. I'll get all this hooked up and then we'll come back. We're getting a little long in the episode at this point. So I just want to make sure that by the end of it, we're having a plastic source come through the system. So once we get that sorted, I will be right back. Okay, I think we've got it sorted for the minute. We don't have everything turned on. I just got it all plumbed and plugged in. So the first one here is going to be taking care of the heavy oil, which is then going to be taking all of this stuff off of here and dumping it out. We're going to save the raw gas. We're going to save the naphtha. We're going to throw away the oil residuals and the diesel. At this point, we'll be able to use some of this later on, but diesel has got absolutely no use for us for a really, really, really long time. So we can do with it as we want to do with it. I guess I don't really care. But yeah, diesel, as far as I can tell, has no use whatsoever than to run the ore drills. And at that point, that's fine. But I'm not going to have this thing for a while, at least a long time. So we're going to trash all of that. There should be enough room. I mean, I can probably rework this and turn this around so I can set another one down right next to it. But we'll just do that for right now. So all I should have to do to make this work is do this. And you're going to start making gasoline, which means as soon as that kicks on and goes poop, it'll put gasoline over here. All right, let's turn this one on. All right, and you should make a little bit of gasoline. That's good. It's going to be kind of slow, but again, we're not really worried about it. We just want things to be processed. All right, with that being going now, then our bottlenecks are going to eventually be these two tanks right here, I think. I think that should all end up going out, going where it needs to go. So, yes. Yes. So we'll take, don't do that. We'll eventually take this stuff and do something with it, but for right now, I'm not going to be too concerned about it. I think the first thing we're probably going to do is mess with this stuff just so that we can, do this little process, because I do believe I have that right now, actually. Where is it? Let me go look. I'm pretty sure we unlocked that already. It's actually in this one. It should be right there. Yeah, I thought I saw that. So we can start using solid fuel right off the bat once we get all this stuff done. So, you have a little bit of gasoline. Ooh, and I can't get around that corner because I didn't take care of these right here because I had to jump up top and take care of it. We did the same similar kind of hookup up there. We did a little fluid router connected to that pipe to come over to the side to take care of a few things. And it should have processed coal and this ready to go. So we just do that. And you have your programming chip in you, which means I should be able to come out here. And, oh yeah, we're going to do it down here. Plastic, which I did not set up. And here it comes. Sweet. Plastic into there. We're going to let that run and do what it needs to do. Awesome. It's about time. Can I do anything with that right now? We could make the hazmat suits, I think. That's about all we can do. We can make batteries now, which is good. That's going to be something we're going to have to hook up right away. And I think actually... I think we can actually do, well, I can do this a little bit, I think. Let's look through some of this stuff. So, no, not that. Assembling machines. Nope, we don't have any of that. We do have the batteries, so we're going to have to set those up and get those ready to go because the thing about batteries I don't think we're going to even need is going to be one of those deals. I'll set up one and make about 64 of them and then probably never make them again because they're only really going to be utilized for this thing. So we'll make a few stacks of them once we decide we want to do the battery banks. Yeah, probably just battery banks once we get to that point. Then we're going to need one for this, and all those kinds of things. But I think as far as those go, we're done. So that's plastic, which is, well, that's, I have a thing over here I can jump into, but I don't know why I didn't bother to do it. Let's look at it from this side. Huh. So minus that chemical plant, that's plastic. Okay, cool. Well, we'll have to kind of do a little bit more fiddling. Hopefully that'll be quick enough to make a reasonable amount of circuits. Again, this is modded, so we're not trying to go absolutely insane trying to make things work because the processes take a long time. So trying to double that up is going to get really fun. So I think for now, ladies and gentlemen, I will call it. It's been a lot of fun. Next episode, we're going to make those circuits. I think all we have left to do now is produce transistors so that we can then produce into an assembly machine all of this fun stuff, which means at the end of next episode, we should be able to do some fun stuff with those things. So for now, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.